Hey, this is Jamie Christensen. Welcome to. Hey, this is Jamie Christensen. Welcome to tonight's race. We're live at Monza Speedway. First time here for the for this series, and in the booth with me tonight we got Mike Fair. How's it going tonight, Mike?
Well, it's going good, man. I'm a little bit nervous of what we're going to see happen tonight, but I'm excited nonetheless. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and should be interesting.
Yeah, I would agree. I think interesting is going to be the word for it. I know there's been a lot of drivers doing a lot of laps around this track trying to get used to it. It's not one that you see on the normal NASCAR circuit. You know, Monza being 2.6 miles around the track, it's provides quite an interesting broadcast. So as we see here with the 938 of Jeremy Patterson showing us how it's done.
Yeah, so you know, he shows us that turn one entry there's a wall there. You got to be real careful of that bad boy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got open qualifying, don't we, Mike?
Yes, we do. Just got started right now. These guys are all going out. Looks like they're going together. It is a drafter's track for sure. We're going to see 2-3 car tandems. These cars pick up almost 2 seconds a lap in the draft here. So these guys are going to go out together, and I'm sure we're going to try and do some interesting runs here. Yes, we do. Just got started right now. These guys are all going out. Looks like they're going together.
Well, they're going to want to keep their cars clean here in practice, and I don't know if you necessarily want to be leading. Yeah, you're definitely fast, but I think just like at any other speedway, when you get out there and you got cars behind you, it's usually the car that's behind you or a couple back that's really winning in this situation.
So I just had some problems with my overlay there. I want to make sure we're still going. You got me okay? Are you got overlays up?
Yep, overlays are up and broadcasting just fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, so Mike, I was just saying, you know, with open qualifying, it's never really the guy in front that's getting the best time. It's usually the car behind him or the car two back. So, you know, looking as we go around the track here. These cars like Butch Frazier, he was 2 back from the 2 in front of him, and he's probably going to capitalize on that speed.
Yeah, I heard the guys talking. It seemed like the best place to be was a 3rd car in a 2-car pack, because that really allowed you to kind of drop back a little bit and suck up all the way around. So I'm sure we're going to see that come into play. I think you're right. I don't think the first car is going to be the quick car. We got a nice 4-car pack going on here, though.
Just want to make a quick note, you know, while we're live on Twitch, you know, we've already got some live viewers here. Please drop us a line in the comments section in the chat room there. We'll try to answer them during the broadcast as we get going. So.
Yeah, we'll probably have a bunch of opportunities tonight to chat with our viewers. We're going to be probably doing a couple slow laps around here tonight.
Yeah, I think so. You know, having done a few laps with the guys last night during practice, going into 1 and going into 3, I guess going out of 2 and out of 4 just as difficult, but they get awfully narrow going in, and then they widen out, and you got to really know where your car is at, because you can get a real good run behind somebody here down the back stretch or down the front stretch, and if you might think you have enough speed to make the pass, and find yourself a little bit short and causing a big wreck going into the corner. I think we're going to see a lot of single file here tonight.
You know, I actually saw a couple times during practice, guys will get a run going down the front stretch and then pull out on the outside going into turn 1 and then just run straight into that guardrail. So it's definitely something they got to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious your thoughts. You know, does having triple monitors or like an Oculus Rift, does that really help you in a track like this? Because depth perception and that view out of the side is really critical here.
Yeah, for sure. I think the one thing that, you know, bugs me about the Oculus is the resolution's a little bit low, and that can make it really hard to see things in the distance. So when talking about that guardrail specifically, is you don't see it until you're 2 feet into it. So yeah, Jeremy was talking about how it was an interesting one tonight. He got into a couple accidents, and he was complaining that it was like feeling his stomach drop out underneath it. But it should be fun for him.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it'd be pretty interesting anytime really to use the Oculus Rift, but when you get going here in the draft, it is fast.
And looking at these 4 cars go around right now, these are the top 4 on the charts, and Dustin's leading the pack there, and he's in 4th. So it kind of just proves what we were talking about earlier. So what did you think of that race on Monday over at Red Light?
Well, it was definitely good. Kentucky's a great track to race at.
Yeah, I think we set a record over there for cautions. That first half of the race was pretty tedious, but man, the racing at the end there was outstanding.
All right, Mike, so I'm all set up. I got the chat room going here on Twitch. I think it was affecting the bandwidth a little bit earlier on, so I cut out the video and got chat only. So again, like I said, if you've got some questions, drop us a line. But we're in car here with Dustin Phillips. Normally he's in the booth with us tonight, and but he's out there racing. He couldn't hold back from Monza, so.
Yeah, it's definitely calling our guys here tonight.
You know, one thing I noticed, Mike, is we're getting into the latter part of the season, and I think the where you're at in regards to the chase is starting to weigh on the drivers' minds a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. We got I think this is the 3rd lap. I think we got 2 more after this, and then we'll be resetting the field. We'll have a chase, and we'll see what everyone's got. But you're right. If you're not in there yet, you got to get in there now.
Yeah, a little bit later on, we'll take a look at those point standings. We'll see how close everybody is. You know, I do know, just by having looked at it earlier, Jeremy Patterson is in that 9th position. He was able to move up a couple spots here after the last couple races, and he's not too far out from and getting in that 8th position. So it's going to be an important night for him. I think we're going to have to really watch how he does.
Well, Jeremy is, he's a cautious driver. I think he's willing to give these guys a lot of room, and so that could play out for him near the end of this race. This is a type of race that you have to kind of survive. So if he kind of lays back and keeps his car clean, he could be there at the end to compete for the win.
Yeah, and our 8th place, our 8th in points driver is Kevin O'Brien, and Jeremy is only 1 point back from him right now. So it's going to be pretty crucial. This race is going to be pretty crucial for those guys, and you might even have some of the guys that are in the 5th, 6th position actually fall back a couple spots here as a result if they don't have a good race.
So it looks like that group of 4 is still leading the charts there. They're still top 4. Raymond has switched. He's up on the pole, and he's been there the whole time. So I think these guys should be happy with their times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it's not time to pick drivers yet, but Raymond being on top of the charts, he's going to be a strong contender for tonight's pick.
Yeah, for sure. He's pleaded with me over and over again not to pick him. So we'll see what we go with tonight.
see some of the guys back with the traditional paint schemes. I do see a couple new ones out there. You know, we had quite a few new paint schemes while we were racing at Daytona. It looks like everybody's kind of, for the most part, back to what they were normally driving. So
I still see some of those Daytona paints.
yeah.
But yes, these guys like to change it up every now and then.
So we got about 5 minutes left in qualifying here. I know we extended qualifying a little bit, just knowing how long it takes to get around the track. So we got about 5 minutes here, and maybe somebody that was running, you know, 6th to 10th can pick up the pace here and get to the front. Because I don't know about you, but when I was practicing last night, it paid to be out front. You definitely, I wasn't real comfortable sitting in the middle of the pack, and I didn't want to be too far to the back because you can lose the draft fairly easy here.
So I hear some radio chatter. These guys looks like they're gonna all come in and maybe line up. Like they can draft and get a really big run here. I don't know what's going on. We do have a lot of cars on pit road right here.
Well, it should be interesting. You know, you got a lot of that team communication out there, like you said, on the radios, and so, you know, if these guys can put something together, maybe they, like I said, you know, anybody that was 5 or lower in the field may find themselves at the front of the field. So,
well, it's definitely one way to do it. These cars are definitely going to run a lot quicker in the draft here.
you know, setup is everything. They spend a lot of time on the setup in practice. They went through about 6 or 7 different setups. We've got quite a few setup makers within the league, and I know they were sharing them out and getting tips from everybody, and they're definitely running what they felt was the best setup of the field. Compared to some of them that were out there, there's obviously faster setups out there, but they wanted the handling as opposed to the speed. And really, the speed was only reduced in lap time by 1 second. So I think we're going to see a good race here.
Well, these guys are definitely getting off here. Yeah, the setup you said is key. They were working on a stable setup. The one thing that I've heard complaining about is the rear brake bias. The brakes are really rear heavy, so these guys are locking up coming into the pit. That could play out tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, and you bring up a real interesting point. I haven't seen too many drivers come into the pits under a green flag scenario or at full speed.
They did a lot of practice under caution or under practice, but we'll see how it does in race setting.
Yeah, it's always a little bit different, and there isn't. It's not like a wide entry into the pits like Daytona or Talladega. It's pretty narrow, and this track is ridiculously bumpy. You know, even coming out of 2 there's actually on the inside lane there's a dip, and we see them go flying. Almost looked like a coordinated jump there. Oh, good air there by the 26. That was great. These guys know how to put on a good show.
Yeah, these guys are just flying. Anyways, they wanted to put that special on for our viewers for this before this race, just show everybody what's capable. Let's see if we can get a replay.
Yeah, Dale, the best one I seen out of the whole thing was the 26. I thought I seen the General Lee there in true form. Is this the replay, Mike, or is this...
This is the replay, yeah.
Yeah, Dale has a great launch here out of 2. That is awesome. That was a great jump there.
Just cars flying out of everywhere. That's all. That's good.
Looks like Patterson had had some major error there as well. So
I had a sound effect for you guys, and I couldn't get it going. They were really adamant about getting this going, but my phone won't load the damn thing. So I'll have to edit it in post. Just got the Dixie horn from the generally.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask if that's what it was.
These guys are still just in their cars.
Well, open qualifying's over, and these guys are still going at it down to the wire. 987 and Keith Haney really had some good air. I can't tell if I'm calling a race or a skateboarding event. Butch Frazier also with a great jump there. You know, coming out of the pits, and by the time you're out of two, you're at least 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, these guys, you know, the speeds that they're going to turn here are going to be super high. I think they're getting up to 210, 215. That's pretty nuts.
Keith Haney just impales his vehicle into the guardrail.
I totally missed that.
All right.
All right, let's run it through the field here as these guys grid up.
All right, row one, we got Raymond Edge and Butch Frazier.
Row number two, we got Mike Abbott. On the outside, we got Dustin Phillips.
Row three, Dale Albright and Philip Bundick.
Row number four, we got Jonas Hankins and Andrew Packer.
Row number five, Jeremy Patterson and John Furshing Jr.
Row number six, we got Nate LaFleur and Daniel Haney.
Row 7, Ricky Goodman and Kevin Cochran.
Row number 8, we got Keith Haney and Kevin O'Brien.
Row 9, David Howard Jr. and Timothy Lewis.
Row number 10, we got two-time season winner Joshua Buckley, and on the outside we got James Skeleton. And I'm not actually in the race, so ignore row 11.
All right, well, it's that time, Mike. Got to pick your guy. Who's it going to be?
Man, this one is like anybody's game here. So I think I'm going to go with... Oh, man, you pick first.
All right, I'm going to go with Andrew Packer. That's my guy tonight. He was running consistent laps in practice last night. He was one of the faster ones. He knows how to draft here. He knows how to get it done. He's looking for a points gain to get him a little bit closer up to that into the chase. He's my guy tonight.
I think I'm going to go with Mike Abbott. I think it's good that he's back on the track, and he was turning some pretty quick laps in practice, so he's my man tonight.
Yeah, Mike Abbott's always a good choice. He's probably glad I'm not out there this evening. I actually got into him quite a few times into practice. In fact, I intentionally had to stay away from him because, you know, sometimes you're almost like a magnet out there. And but yeah, Mike's fast. Good choice. Well, here we go. We got pace speed tonight, 70 miles an hour. The pit road speed is also 70 miles an hour. So those guys will get behind the pace car, and we'll get ready to go here shortly.
Now we'll see. I gave these guys a real big pep talk at the beginning of this race. Let them know what it's going to take to get through the first half of this race without any crazy incidents, and we'll see if it took it to heart. I'm really looking for these guys to kind of get sorted out real quick, get into line, and just get comfortable running around single file. And once we get down to it, once they get the cars under them, then they can shake it up. But if they start racing like it's the end of the race here early on, we're going to see a lot of slow laps.
Yeah, I would agree. And again, like I said, while we were watching the qualifying, and I definitely would want to be out front. I would not want to be in the back. In fact, if I was in the back, I'd probably keep off the pack a little bit. You know, we got quite a few laps here. We need to get those underneath our belt, and then just want to be there at the end. So
let's take this first start here. We'll ride on board with Dale Albright and see how crazy it is as we get under speed.
well, one of our viewers is picking Mike Abbott too, so I kind of question as to who that's coming from, because I think I might know the answer, but might be biased. Might be a biased pick there, but one of the viewers is going with Mike Abbott as well. So
hey, it's a good pick, man. I don't care why they pick him, as long as they pick my pick.
well, I hope they get the belts strapped real tight here, because this is going to be a wild one. A lot of space here. Dale's holding back a little bit.
Yeah, I don't say I blame him here. I think we're gonna like ease into the gas here. Green flag.
Dale looks to go to the outside here. Butch is already blowing up.
I don't know if he missed a gear.
Yeah, maybe he threw it down into first. That's a quick way to. And now he's got to stay high to not get into anybody.
This one on the first lap. It's not looking good for you.
Well, the cars are slowing down here. It looks like there might even be a little bit of debris there in turn 3 from that last accident. But get that all sorted out and we'll get ready to go green. I'm curious if there'll be any takers for tires. Kind of reminds me of some of these super speedways here, Mike, where we don't see a lot of people take tires, but I think we will here tonight, at least right sides. People are going to want that traction in the corners.
Yeah, he just he missed the shift there, and
yeah, so we got two cars pretty much that already burned up that first quick repair. Not exactly what they were looking for with race of 76 laps here, but they'll make the best of it and hopefully be there at the end. So Jonas Hankins is our leader this evening on lap 3. So good to see him up front.
yeah, he got up there pretty quick.
You know, and I think you kind of mentioned it before too. You know, I think these drivers are it's going to be a little give and take here. We've seen the field spread out because of Busch having issues there, but I still don't think anybody's trying to push anybody down the backstretch and get too far ahead. But it'll be something we'll have to watch during the race here.
Yeah, it's Jonas made up 6 spots at that start, so not sure if he made some enemies early on, but make up 6 spots on a start, you got to be doing something.
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, I think when Butch had some problems there, I think we've seen people, drivers, just kind of react a little bit differently. Some just never let off the gas, and some let off a little bit to see what was going to happen, and that looks like it paid out there for Jonas. So other things we can tweak in the car, on a fixed setup like this, you're really left to the steering ratio and the steering offset. And a lot of guys are doing some different stuff here on this race. And, you have some drivers that are going with a 16-to-1 where there isn't a lot of movement in that wheel, and you got some guys that are running a little bit lower. You know, that default is 12-1, and you really don't want the car to move around a whole lot on the backstretch, but in those turns, it's kind of, you got to find somewhere in the middle, because if you got it too tight, any slight movement of that wheel is going to really move the back end of the car. The car gets really loose in the corners here, and if you got it too loose, you kind of drift up into the wall. So I'm wondering, while it's a fixed setup, there's still drivers in the field that aren't using. They're not all using the same setup. They've made some modifications to the way they drive based on their driving style. So I think that's going to play a factor here tonight as well.
Yeah, for sure. The guys that came out and helped build this set, they got a little bit more experience with it. And you're right, you can kind of change the characteristics of the race car just by playing with the offset and playing with the ratio. So I think the guys that spend a little bit more time in the car are going to be, set up to do better. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I would agree. And there was about a pack of 5 or 6 of them last night that were really seeing how their car was going to react by itself in traffic, in the corners. Even we even had guys bump drafting in the corners. That's how much they were testing the setup out. Only to be expected, but they want to know what it's going to be like in race conditions. Practice is more than just going around the track and getting used to the track. You got to really know how that car handles here.
For sure, and I think they're pretty. They get settled pretty quick in the corners, so it's not really like you're going to lose it. You could kind of push up into the wall if you get real high. If you try and run too wide, you can get uncomfortable and push into the wall. If you get really low, you can lose it coming out. But generally, if you got space, if you give everyone room, these cars will run around this track pretty easily.
Yeah, and they did a great job on this setup. Where they started out, I tried one of those setups, and I tried the finished product, and it's night and day difference. That first setup they had out there, all the cars were bottoming out, and they were able to just find that right setup to get stability plus speed. So I believe we got 1 to go, right, to green here?
I believe they are doubling up right now, yep. So they'll be catching the green next time by here.
Well, hopefully nobody misses a shift up front.
Yeah, he was using paddle shifters, and he said his sleeve or something caught on a shifter, downshifted, and yeah, that'll blow it up pretty quick.
That will definitely do it. One driver to watch tonight, and we've been talking about him the last couple of weeks, is Josh Buckley. He's been known to take a stop in the pit stop there, and then do what he needs to do with a long race like this tonight. I hope he's got everything squared away.
Well, it's definitely long enough pit stop or long enough caution lap that he could probably get a couple things done during the caution here.
Yeah. Watch a TV show and answer some mail.
It's time management, man. You gotta kind of manage your day. So, all right, these guys will be putting that last couple corners. They'll be coming back to green. Hopefully, we can complete a lap here.
So, if you're the winner of this race, Mike, do you launch it out of 2 as the winning move, or do you burn them down at the start finish?
That's a good question. I really think you have to kind of go for the air at the end of this race. Actually, I'm pretty sure if you come in last, you still got to go for the air at the end of the race.
And Mike, we just got called out here by one of our viewers. Somebody said they're still waiting for that powder puff race.
Yeah, it's on the to-do list. You got to get you got to get the wives all on board. I think we got one interested, so we got to work on the other ones.
Yeah, we'll put something out there. Get ready to go green.
We got time to do something. All right, guys, let's see if we can get around the track here. Green flag.
Jeremy Patterson with a lot of speed, going through those gears quick. He had a good start there. Just looking to settle in, but he's riding on the outside, which could be kind of dangerous here, and he's losing spots as a result. I don't know if... Oh, and Dale Albright and Jeremy Patterson get into each other. I knew that wasn't going to end well.
Yep. That's what we're saying. You know, you guys...
I don't know if Butch thought he was clear and came up or what happened there, but that was... you almost... we seen that one coming. Yeah, and Jeremy had such a great start on that one. I seen him going through the gears. It almost looked like he backed out of it a little bit because he had such a good run and didn't want to get in the car in front of him.
Yeah, he was, you know, up as high as you can, but Dale hit that bump on the bottom of that corner and it just shot the car up. And, you know, we knew that was going to happen. And that's kind of why we want these guys to settle down and get some laps in. But, you know, what's going to happen is these guys that are getting in wrecks are going to just drop out, so...
Well, you know, our viewer here, who is the wife of Mike Abbott, she's putting the gauntlet down and saying that she'll come out here and race with the boys. So better watch out, and Mike better get himself some more equipment.
Who are you kidding, man? I think she's already racing for Mike. I think he's just the voice.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to find that out. You know, you could be right. I think, you know, Mike was had some stuff going on there. He missed a race or so. And, you know, I wouldn't be too surprised if we didn't see her racing that car.
Yeah, he's got to get his points, so, you know.
Oh, we got Kevin Cochran with some pretty substantial damage there on the front. I'm hoping that he's coming in. I'm not gonna. If I were him, I'm not sure I'd use a quick repair right away. He's got.
I don't know if I agree with you. I think this track is all about aerodynamics. So I think you gotta, if you're gonna, unless you're gonna get behind somebody and be able to maintain speed, if you get to front of a line as we get a car spinning around there, with a damaged car, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I would agree. But here's my thinking with it. You got plenty of time to get the car fixed. Don't use the quick repair now.
True.
Just maintain for a little while. The chances of another caution are pretty high right now at this track.
That's true. They're going to have like an hour and a half to get that car
exactly
repaired. So
exactly.
That's a good point.
Yeah, save it for the end and be there when it counts, because some of these guys, I hate to call it, but they're gonna, if they use that quick repair, they're gonna be out of the race. And I just think we've got, you know, having a driver slow down on purpose is counterintuitive to what we see when it comes to racing. And we're going to have people that are just, they're going to burn up their equipment. And we see a lot of drivers in pit road right now getting, and looks like they're taking that strategy of just having their car worked on.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's what they're doing.
Poor Dale. He took some major damage there, and it looks like Jeremy Patterson's got that same strategy going on. He's got, they're both still smoking.
Yeah, they were towing. That's what they were doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, and they took their quick repairs. That's interesting. You know, we've had drivers join us in the booth, you know, that haven't had a great night. So maybe we'll see that this evening. We'll have to keep an eye on out for that.
Yeah, I don't know if we want the first guy that gets knocked out of the race in the booth though. I don't have like a buzzer, you know, like a swearing beep.
Yeah, we're not on a time delay here, so we're broadcasting live, and we might need to give him a moment to cool down. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think it's interesting. You know, we called it. We talked about it a little bit earlier, coming out of two there, and there is a significant dip. And if you are running the inside with a car on your outside, you are probably going to put at least a minimum half of your car down in that dip, and it's going to upset the car. And I think, you know, one of the things that I didn't talk to the other drivers about, but I did it myself, is I actually turned down the force feedback on my wheel, because when the force feedback is up, and some of these drivers run it at like a ridiculous rate. You know, they like that strong force feedback in the wheel. It's really going to make you overcorrect when you don't mean to. And I'm wondering how many of these drivers actually turn down their force feedback for this race.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. It's you know, it's a bumpy track, man. You're going to be getting a lot of that feedback through the wheel. Personally, I like it. You know, I'm one of those drivers that likes it realistic. Now, that's not to say I don't really necessarily want to feel every bump, but I like the dampening to be real stiff. So I like to feel the wheel when I'm turning it. So, but you can. That's a good thing about these, like the Profiler. You can really set it and tune it the way you like it.
Yep, and I think, like you had mentioned before, those guys that came out here and did some practice laps ahead of time, they're the ones that are going to really benefit from it. You know, when you've only got so much time before the race and qualifying to understand how your car works in traffic, that's really not enough time, especially when it comes to a new track like this that's part of our series this go around.
All right, we should see the lights go off. We do, so we'll be coming by for green flag. Hopefully we can get some laps in. I like those rims there Raymond's got. Those are nice blue rims on the side of that car.
Yeah, Raymond going all out for this race, you know, changing it up. Maybe on the next caution, Mike, maybe we can grab somebody that's not in an incident.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure. We'll get somebody up here.
You know, this kind of reminds me of those rain-delayed Daytonas. You know, Mike, if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and we're still broadcasting,
Yeah.
that might be a problem.
Well, the race did finish pretty well last night, or on Sunday night, Monday morning. So, but yes, I'm not staying up that late.
Yeah.
I didn't even make that race, man. I was asleep at 1:30, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I stayed up for the whole thing, man, and it was a great race to watch. Scary race to watch, in fact.
Yeah, you know, the race was great. We had mentioned it a little bit on Monday at red light, but that's you never like seeing a car wreck like that. You never like seeing a car thrown into the fence, but you know, it's just it speaks to the safety of NASCAR and the fact that everybody walked away from it. Only minor injuries all around. Huge.
Yeah, and the recovery process for Austin Dillon, that's he's been doing some pretty interesting things there to try to get his body back to the way it was. Probably not going to be back 100%, but I seen he was doing some ice, some kind of cryo freezing type thing.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I can't say I've ever heard of the freezing technique for recovery, but hey, if it works.
Yeah, maybe it's like an extreme ice bath or something.
All right, here we go. Let's see how this restart goes. Pace car is in.
Raymond Edge out front there. Good takeoff by these guys, and they spread out quick.
It's really key that these guys get in line. Looks like the first couple get in line. I don't like seeing the leaders race there like that.
Yeah, Raymond's on the outside. I seen him blink there a little bit too. I think he's just going to fall in line. Smart move there by Raymond Edge in the 72, right behind Jonas Hankins, going 1-2 there. Tim Lewis kind of hanging a ways back. I think he's playing it smart. He's got a small pack around him, though.
Well, that's definitely the smart thing to do, the way that the first two laps got going. I'd be going around at 20 miles an hour.
And so we should talk about some of the speed here tonight. You know, one of the faster tracks we're at, these cars, when they get up to speed, they're at about 205, between 205 and 210. So a very fast track.
Yeah, extremely fast track. It's definitely a pusher's track. You can dictate the race. That you can slingshot around cars here, but I think you just got to kind of get. You can't be running the entire turn too wide. I think that's going to really cause problems.
Jonas is in a bad spot here going into 3. Down in that low line, able to get back on the track. Keep it steady. Oh, he gets into him and he's down on the track. No caution. That we seen that was bad to begin with, and you know, Mike Abbott, he's able to keep going. Jonas is smoking. He's got to head to the pits. Ooh, that's gonna be an unsafe pit entry. That's gonna hurt him.
Yeah, and that just, I think that's a testament of maybe fighting too hard early on. You know, you risk getting taken out like that. You're racing for the lead, and then all of a sudden you're in the back of the pack, spinning out on pit road and no caution. So that's gonna it's gonna basically ruin his race. I don't think he's gonna come back from that unless we get a caution here real quick. I don't know why we didn't get a caution. That's pretty weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see how it turned out. I think there was a little bit of glitch there, but you know, we got Mike Abbott and Raymond Edge, followed by Dustin Phillips here, running 1, 2, 3. Mike Abbott got a little bit loose on a lap or two before. I seen him just scrape the guardrail there, but he's able to recover nicely and just drafting behind Raymond. And, you know, I think one of the big things too we haven't mentioned yet is just noticing how close Abbott is to Edge. Is you've really got to watch the temperature. We've had cars blow up drafting and running behind a car too long.
Yeah, we actually had a couple cars blow up in practice, so yeah, for sure, you got to kind of manage those temps. You got to back it off, and it'd be so easy here to ride the whole track. But you can hear him playing with the throttle. He's not full on it. He's happy with riding behind him here. I don't think he's going to go for a pass or anything, even though he could easily slingshot and pass. But these guys are teammates, or at least they run a lot together, so I don't see him making that pass. Even going across that straight, you can see him ducking the nose out and getting some air and keeping the car cool.
Yeah, we've seen him go 207 miles an hour into turn 1 there. And just noticing his windshield. Mike, you've driven these cars many times before. How much does that affect you as a driver when you've got a dirty windshield?
It actually, you think it wouldn't really, right? You think this is like a game, so it wouldn't really get on you, but I hate it when I run behind a smoky car or I get all that stuff on my windshield. It drives me absolutely nuts, and I make sure every time I come in, whether I'm coming in for gas or just tires, I hit my my tear-off button and get a new windshield every time. It drives me absolutely nuts.
It does me too. It is one of those things that is, and it gets worse. You know, it doesn't get better, especially in a long run. And instead of watching the road, you're looking at your windshield and wanting a clean one. So, well, Kevin O'Brien. I'm not really sure how he ended up back there.
Listening to him, he says he just lost it coming out of 4, and he missed the jump though. Oh, that's 4. That's the wrong side of the track.
He's on 2 there, right?
Yeah, he was coming out of 4 there, I think he said.
Okay.
Well, that's what he said on the radio. It looked like 2, so maybe you're right. But he'll be towing, so that's gonna hurt him with these green flag laps clicking by.
And looks like Abbott and Edge have company as the pack is starting to catch him.
Yeah, I like seeing this. This is the type of racing I wanted to see here. These guys kind of just getting the feel of it, running some fast laps, and it's going to get dicey when we get down to it. But we're still only lap 17, and we got some green flag pit stops going to be coming up pretty quick. We were talking earlier, and these cars are doing 15 laps, I believe, running out on 16. So they're going to be getting on the pit road a couple times tonight, and pit road here is absolutely treacherous.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not one of those tracks where you want to run out of gas, because there's no way you'll make it back.
No, absolutely. And pit entry here is a single file line. like you cannot physically go into pits too wide. You will both crash. And when you get on pit road, the boxes are very, very small. We don't have any pit signs. There's no number signs. There's no pit boxes. All you got is your one guy standing out there with your little sign to let you know where to go. And the boxes are bumper to bumper, so you will have a car in front of you and behind you, and it makes it a little bit more challenging.
So is that James Skeleton that we got in between Dustin Phillips and the second place car of Mike Abbott there?
Yes, sir, it is. He is a lap down. He is the first car a lap down.
Well, what a great spot for him, because, you know, if we do see a caution here, he's going to be able to get that lap back. And I'm seeing quite a few cars a lap down here. How many you say we got?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars a lap down, 1 car out of the race. Unless he's just towing still.
And that'd be Jonas, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, so tough break for Jonas
Actually,
tonight.
Jonas did disconnect, so he is out of the race.
Okay. We got jacking her down in the chat room this evening. He's got to be liking what he's seeing here with fellow teammate Raymond Edge leading the pack.
Yeah, I'm sure he's upset that he's not out there. Maybe he's not upset that he's not out there. It's kind of a crazy track, but he's definitely got a teammate up front, so that's always good to see. All right, I heard the 82 of Mike Abbott. He's calling for pits. Dustin Phillips is calling for pits as well. So let's see how these guys get in here.
Ooh, and it's treacherous. Ooh. Oh!
Hey,
Raymond loses it. Mike Abbott is going to capitalize big time on this one. No caution. If you're Raymond Edge, do you got to go back around?
Well, you can't go backwards. He's sitting there. He's trying to figure out how to get back on the track. Oh, that's the yellow right there. He didn't have much choice. I don't think he could kind of get going there without a yellow flag coming out.
Oh, tough break for him. He caught one of those bumps coming into pit road there, and as a result, he's not. I don't believe he's going to go a lap down. He's just going to be at the end of the field. So
he might be trapped behind. No, he won't. Yeah, he's going to be okay. That probably worked out better for him. He'll be able to go around, jump into the pits, get his pit stop, and then just get back on the track. So he's not out of it yet.
Yeah, and even if he comes in on a closed pit, you know, worst he gets is end of line. So
let's see if we can get him down here for a little bit of chat about that pit entry.
All right.
Raymond, man, that was pretty hairy, man. You got up on 2 wheels there. Looks like you almost saved it, but you lost it there.
Oh my goodness, man. That bump coming into pit road under braking is horrible.
Yeah, the car got off the ground, and you were stopped there right at the start-finish line, and with cars going by 200 miles an hour, man, you were in a tough position. I didn't think you were going to be able to get out of that without pulling out a caution. So, actually, I think it worked out better for you.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. I wasn't going to go. I was sitting there watching my relative, and I saw them all coming pretty hard. So I figured I'd just sit there and let them go by.
So you're going to come in, get your stuff done, get back out there. You'll probably be at the end of the line now, so it's going to be a little bit different than the front of the pack.
That's all right. I can handle it back here. We'll just ride around for a little bit and see how this all plays out, because this place is nuts. Yeah,
I could see early on you and Jonas kind of getting real aggressive there for leaders. I thought Jonas made possibly, you know, it was a good move, but a little bit early to be making that move, and I can't believe a caution didn't come out when he spun around. Kind of ruined his night, and I was saying that's how easy things change. So, you know, you don't necessarily want to be making those hard moves early in the race when it could just ruin your night like that.
Yeah, I'm still not really sure what happened there, because I thought he had room, let him come up, and next thing I know, he's inside my car, and then he's into the wall. So I don't know, it must have been some net code issue or something going on there.
Yeah, it looked like a small net code issue, but he went into that corner with half of his car, I believe, down in underneath the yellow, and it wasn't a perfect entry, so to speak, and as a result, I think it just kind of he was having to correct the whole way through. So
Yeah, I can see that. This place is pretty tricky. I mean, you try to give everybody enough room to get in and off the corners, but yeah, you just take it a little too far. And this setup, even though it's more stable than what we were driving, it's still sketchy. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll
Yeah.
start back here in the back with
So
new
how's the-
tires and some.
I was going to
fuel
ask
here,
you, how is the tire wear out there?
Well, I'm getting ready to look, so give me just a second. Actually, I think we probably could have gone 2 rounds with no tires, but being under caution, might as well get 4 good stickers.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to be back there anyways. Actually, I got you in 8th place, so not too bad. You'll be able to get back up front if you time it correctly. But I'm sure, you're going to just want to settle in and get some more laps in your belt.
Yeah, I'll get back up there with the rest of the Hooligan Motorsports guys and see if we can put one of us in winner's circle tonight at least.
Yeah, we know we got Jackner down watching the broadcast, so you probably want to do right by him.
Shout out, jacking her down. What up, brother? You got to work.
Actually, I think tonight it's probably better that he's working. All right, man.
Yeah,
we'll
he
let
said
you
he
get
needed to.
Yeah, right. I'll let you get back to it and have a good second half of the race here.
Yep, we'll see how it goes. Thanks, guys.
Well, Ricky Goodman is, I got him leading the pack right here.
Yeah, I got a lot of lap cars in front of him. I'm under the impression those cars will be getting the wave around here soon.
Yep. I guarantee it. Once we get the one to go, these guys will get the wave around, and Ricky will be leading them to the green.
So how? Remind me again. How long does it take to get around the track? About a minute, doesn't it?
Yeah, fastest laps right now, 46 seconds.
So 46 seconds. You get the wave around the pace car. You've got to come all the way around the field by the time they get ready to go green. It'll be close.
Yeah, they gotta get up to speed to get around, but they're going much faster. The laps here under caution, we're looking at 2 minutes and 17 seconds. So actually, that was with pit. So 1:58, almost just under 2 minutes with a caution lap.
I'm thinking we may want to check in on them as they go around and head to the backstretch, because while they're probably thinking they need to catch up to that pack awfully quickly. And I'm hoping we don't see any incidents as a result.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. We'll watch them go around.
So again, just want to remind our viewers that are watching, if you got a question, drop us a line in the chat room. We'll try to answer them if we can. So far, it's been quite the entertaining evening, as we've seen people go in the guardrail, jump their car out of turn 4, and find themselves in the fence, and some interesting pit entry for some of the drivers this evening.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the last issue entering pits. I think it's going to be a problem through the rest of the night. It's just bumpy. It's really, really, really bumpy.
I should have asked Raymond if he turned down that force feedback on the wheel when we had him in here.
Well, hey, next caution we'll pull him up again. All right, we should see these cars take off here as we cross the finish line. Let's see if these guys get around okay. I'm sure they will.
I think you're more optimistic than I am, but
Looks like we have another lap under caution here. Unless we didn't, oh no, unless we're there we go.
Now, I'm wondering, I must have missed it, because Mike Abbott was in the pits getting some tires changed out before the caution came out. I'm surprised he's where he's at right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know why? Because all of the guys, all of those people passed him, and then the caution came out. Didn't come in right away, so he stayed out. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't get that either. But same with Dustin. They were all on the same strategy there.
Well, these guys are coming around as we're getting ready to go to green.
Oh, look at that car just jump around.
So they've gone around once, and now they're trying to catch up to that pack. Hopefully we hear the radios going, asking where the pace car's at.
Here's a big deal, right? So the brake bias is really heavy in the rear wheels. These guys are going to have to get on the brakes here to slow it down. Hopefully they don't spin out. Let's see what they do here. And we can see the cars going into 3 right there.
Yep, and they're starting to slow down, but they're still not there. Okay, it looks like they've caught the field now. We got the 72 of Raymond Edge kind of hanging back here. Just going to have to tighten up the field. A lot of cars in front of these guys, so we're going to see some new leaders up front here with Ricky Goodman and John Furshing Jr. and Tim Lewis leading top 3 here.
Hopefully I like to see these guys get lined again, and here we go.
Yeah, green flag. Tim Lewis way down on the track there.
Ooh, that's not this. This ain't gonna end well.
Yeah, we've seen it before. When you got somebody running that high line, you either got to give them room or, and they
that's
do.
That's good. Everyone gave each other room. That's good. That's what I like to see. Wow, he's running in the grass there.
Yeah, it looks like Tim's having some technical difficulties there.
He got it all collected. He's good to go.
Andrew Packer leading the field. Oh, not anymore. Not really sure what happened to Andrew there. He was up front and then he went way to the back, and we got a lot of cars jumping to the inside, which could be dangerous. Look like Nate LaFleur is gone from our...
He's back, but he's blinking pretty bad.
And I just heard a car go somewhere. And I have a feeling that might have been Nate, but maybe some net code as I see him back now. Boy, you really see those cars just jump up there going into one.
Look at him come off that corner, eh?
Yeah, Tim Lewis just get some air there.
Looks like these guys really learned from those first couple cautions of taking it easy and getting in line. As I say that, we got some crazy diving going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there's only 26 laps here.
Woo!
Oh, no!
That's not good.
And there goes Nate LaFleur. That was the big one.
I don't know who was coming out there. Let's look at a replay.
It was Andrew Packer. Oh, that was... You got to stay low. You've got to ride that inside line all the way through. And Andrew, it appears to look like he he tried to merge into traffic there, and you just can't do that when those cars. You know, we were following with Mike Abbott there a while ago, and they were 207 going into that first corner. Yeah, that's a bad move there by Andrew. I'm sure the hauler, the NAVSCAR hauler, is going to want to have a word with him after the race on that one.
Yeah, that was a combination of a couple things I think there, but just Nate's diving low and Andrew's coming out, and yeah, but that was a tough one right there.
Well, I don't think that's going to make too many drivers happy.
Nope,
Tim Lewis looks like he's got some real damage there. Is there any way to watch that replay again?
Yeah, we can take a look. Hold on. Who would we like to ride on board with?
Josh Buckley is actually probably the guy that I want to ride, and he's kind of right in the middle of that. Ooh, that's a heck of a ride right there, through some trees. Tim Lewis is actually the one that got the most damage. He was smoking afterwards, so I think he took the brunt of it because he was on the inside there next to Andrew Packer. So. Oh, ouch! Nate LaFleur. And when we were watching that live, Nate just went over the fence on turn 1 and was airborne and gone. So Nate getting some toe time in. I'm almost afraid to bring a driver down here right now.
Yeah, it was just, I think honestly everyone kind of jumping on each other, but it is a combination of a bunch of things.
Well, it worked out well for David Howard Jr. I think David was running a little bit further back in the pack than what he is right now. Running second now with James Skelton behind him in third. But, you know, like I said, I still want to be out in front. I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to be towards the rear of the pack here. But as we've seen, even running out front you can find yourself in a heap of trouble really quick. So a lot of smoke here on the backstretch. I'm not sure who's still smoking, but that's pretty hazy back there. And I'm not sure if Andrew Packer has used a quick repair or not. So actually, his car didn't sustain a lot of damage during that, I don't believe. Well, as we're having them go around, let's jump to a small commercial break, if you will.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so got the 2 websites up for the league. We've got NAVSCAR.com, and obviously you can see it spelled out there, NAVSCAR.com. Click on the league application in the center and apply to the league and turn some laps with us. We'd like to have you out there. Same goes with our sister league, Red Light Racing. You'll see the big red arrow there. Click on apply and apply to the league, and one of the administrators from either league will be back with you shortly. Do know that before you're accepted into the league, there are some rules and regulations that you need to be aware of around minimum attendance, driver etiquette, and if it's your first season with us, there is a probation period where we have the cars run a 9 in front of their number, and you'll see some of those out there this evening. But you also have to maintain a minimum amount of incidents.
Yeah, I think you know, some people look at our stuff and say it's a little daunting, but once you get it all wrapped up, it's really not that hard. You know, to get into the league, our only requirement is that you have a C license with a 3.5 safety rating, which in all honesty, man, spend some time on some time trials. It's not hard to work up to that. Once you're in the league, we're not going to monitor your safety rating or anything, so you can go back to the iRacing sessions and not worry about it. But once you're into the league, just those minimum participation requirements. To graduate into the league after a season, you do have to pass a certain threshold when it comes to incidents. So we're really promoting people to drive clean and give people enough room. Once you get into the league, once we officially bring you in, you lose that 9. There's no risk of you being kicked out for anything, other than gross negligence. So, hey man, it was a lot of fun here. A lot of guys speak to it. If a lot of guys run at red light as well, Monday and Wednesdays. We're just looking to take things a little bit more serious than your average league. But we think that it results in a lot better racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you were talking there, I brought up the season schedule. Tonight we're obviously at Monza. We've got 2 races before the chase. Like I told you at the beginning, it's getting tight. It's on the driver's mind. We were talking about Jeremy Patterson, Kevin O'Brien, those guys that are right on the bubble. They got to have a good night tonight. And we've already seen Jeremy already involved in one and partially involved in another. So, it's getting down to keeping the equipment clean. But we got 2 races, New Hampshire next week, and we got Indianapolis, both great tracks before we enter the chase. And I think the drivers are really looking forward to that. So.
And we're going into turn 3 here. We're coming back to the green flag on this lap. So, we got 44 laps to go, and hopefully we get a nice clean finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And so while we were talking about those standings, switch over to the standings here, and what do you think, Mike? We got Ricky Goodman actually in 10th, who could be, if he has a good night tonight, he could find himself up there.
Yeah, he's he's been creeping up on everybody. The one thing to say about Rick is he's consistent. He shows up to races. He's usually races pretty clean, and he can finish the top 10 a lot. So I'm seeing him kind of work his way up. He could be competing for it if he has a good race here.
Yeah, and Raymond Edge, he could really use a good night tonight too, and currently 14th in points, tied with Butch Frazier. Both of those guys looking for a good finish, strong finish tonight, get themselves back in that top 10, maybe even contending for that last couple spots there. But we've honestly seen everybody real close to an incident or involved in one this evening, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty level playing field when it comes to those penalties. Everyone's kind of got the same rule set, so I think it's going to be kind of a mess for a lot of people, so it kind of evens it out. And we're back to green. Well, we're live-ish.
There we go. We're back to live racing. David,
oh, you're not live on yours?
No.
Okay, that's my bad. I was live on mine. That's weird.
No, sorry about that for our viewers. We were just kind of stuck in that replay mode, or just a little bit behind, but we're back live racing under green here. David Howard Jr. leads the field. John Fershing Jr. right behind him, with James Skeleton right behind him in third. So rounding out top three. Tight pack here. Not a lot of room for error.
Yeah, but these guys, you know, these are probably the closest they've been all race. They've got a good stretch of cars going here. But again, I think we see them just kind of want to take it easy until we get within, 10, 15 laps. And let me point out that these cars, the way that they suck up, any one of these drivers could suck up and could attempt to make a pass. So for these guys to be running in line, they're doing it on purpose. They're kind of, they're racing mindfully, I guess, of everybody else. So it's good to see. And here, as we go, Mike looks like he's going to make a pass here.
Nate LaFleur right behind him. They're too wide. They're too wide. They got to get single file here. Nate LaFleur way down. Keeps it down there. Yeah, Nate couldn't afford another incident. He had to keep that car low. So good for him keeping that car low, keeping out of harm's way.
Yeah, it looked like they, trying to make a move and then backed out of it, which is the smart thing to do.
So here's the thing. I'm checking out the 82 of Mike Abbott. He's got some rear end damage there on that back of his car. That spoiler actually might be a little bit higher. I'm kind of wondering if that's helping him out or if he can even tell.
Yeah, you're right. That back quarter panel is definitely sticking up, and that spoiler is a little bit higher. But as long as he sticks in that draft, I think he'll be okay. Now, it might change if he gets out in front.
Yeah, I think so too. With cars in front of him, he's going to be able to just stay with them. So. Wow, those guys are really coming out of that turn 4 fast. Getting a little squirrely going into 1. Not a lot of visibility here riding on board with Mike Abbott.
You can hear his throttle. He's not even close to pegged.
No, not even close. Considering, he went into there about 200, and so we seen him at 207 in second place before, so. Ooh, Mike looked low there.
Yeah, I switched it as he was checking up real hard, and Mike kind of went low just to keep from running into him.
Now look at that view. You cannot see where that corner is, and we see it here with Dustin Phillips.
Yeah, that just shows, like, if there was a car exiting pit right there, game over.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the result. He kind of loses the draft here a little bit, and he's going to have to just keep it pegged down the backstretch to keep up with them. It's an eerie feeling going that fast. I mean, it is a simulator, but when you're going that fast in this sim, you have fractions of a second to make decisions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Raymond Edge with a strong run right behind Mike Abbott there. Josh Buckley takes it too wide going into 1.
I think that was Dustin, but he made a nice clean pass there.
Yeah, Buckley was just underneath Raymond Edge there and backed out of it a little bit. Played it cool, played it smart, and just regains the speed and is right there with the pack going into 3. Ooh, underneath James Skeleton here. Raymond goes low. Got to be careful coming out of the corner. Makes the pass. Oh, I heard somebody wrecking. Looks like Daniel Haney has got some damage there. I believe Raymond Edge is going to get his lap back here. going awfully slow.
Yeah, they're waiting for the pace car.
After watching these guys go over 205 miles an hour around this track, watching them go 35 is is really at a snail's pace. Well, we got them all held up here at the entrance pit road. Pace car finally makes it around. You know, with this many cars out on the track, it's pretty hard to get everybody slowed down, but they seem to manage, and looks like people are coming in, gonna get some tires here.
No, we got about 35 laps to go. I don't think we haven't made it through a set of green flag stops yet, so see if they can pull it off this time.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty challenging out there this evening to make it the 15 laps, but you know, we got 35 to go. I still think we've got a lot of guys that have used a lot of quick. You know, we only have we have one quick repair tonight, Mike.
We do have 2 quick repairs, but you're right. I think a lot of these guys have used them.
Well, we know Nate LaFleur has.
We have guys that have been in the pits. Like Nate LaFleur's been in the pits 8 times. James Skeleton's been in the pit 11 times. So yeah, they've definitely had opportunities to use their repairs here.
And actually, Nate's car doesn't look that bad. I noticed on the last time before we had this caution, I noticed the front end of his car just had a little wrinkle there. You still kind of see it in the front, but seems to be able to keep up with the draft. So no need to use that last quick repair if he's got one. And he's probably going to come in here and probably do a little bit more maintenance on it if he can.
Yep, you see him come in now. Unfortunately, that means he won't get his wave around, but sometimes the repair is a little bit more important.
And I believe Raymond Edge was our lucky dog. I believe he's going to get a lap back here. So. Car looks pretty good this evening. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's okay. One thing about the Monza is that the laps, you know, you have a caution lap, and you know, you're doing 3 or 4 laps in a caution in 2 minutes. You could be sitting here for 7-8 minutes. It's tough. It kind of gets you in. It puts you in a different mood when you're in a car. You kind of want to get back to it.
Yeah. So how's Jeremy Patterson doing out there? You know, we've seen him have some early incidents. We've talked about him being on that bubble of the chase. It looks like the car's pretty clean right now.
Yeah, it looks like it's rolling fine. He is 3 laps down, so he's going to have to stay out to get some of those ravel rounds instead of coming into pit. But you know, you kind of want to take that opportunity to come and fill up. It's going to be tough for him to make up 3 laps here.
I guess you don't have any doubt who's in front of you with Patterson's car.
Yeah, it's definitely recognizable. The only thing I don't get is he's got He's got red light on the deck plate of that car, and it's in green. I guess it matches the car, but you know, red light.
Should be in red? Is that what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Put some flames around that, Jeremy.
Yeah, come on now. But one of his favorite drivers is Ken Block, I think, and he's got the paint scheme there to kind of match it.
Oh, I think he had to check up hard there.
Yeah, not sure what that was about.
As we see some of the cars heading around here, and fields getting straightened out. John Furshing Jr., Josh Buckley up front here, running 1-2.
I can't tell. Are the lights still flashing on that car?
I don't believe so.
You're right. We're doubling up here to go back to green.
Now, the last time we seen Tim Lewis up there in the front, he had some issues coming out of the corner, and hopefully he can get where he needs to be and have a good race here.
Who do we want to ride on board with for this restart out of the top 6?
Let's go with David Howard Jr. David is our 4th place car. David's a strong driver. Raced with him over in red light. Raced with him. Well, actually, I haven't raced with him here, I don't believe. But he's a strong driver. He's always one to look out for. I know he didn't have the race he was looking for on Monday, and I think he's just trying to capitalize on that.
Yeah, for sure. He's an all-around good driver. I've seen him excel in a bunch of different tracks. I'd like to see him kind of finish up front here as well.
Yeah, and David's actually had not exactly some good runs here lately. You know, he went down 3 positions in the point standings after last week's race, and you know, he was running 2nd in points down to 5th. So he wants a good run here, and he's got the prime position. I'm just wanting to know if he's going to let Tim Lewis in. And we're green. Oh, good jump there by David. And I think he got that position away from Tim Lewis. And he does, going into 1. Always like to compliment David on that paint scheme. That Alienware paint scheme's pretty sharp.
Yes, it is.
Mike Abbott on the inside of David Howard as it go into 3. David gives up the position. They go in there cleanly.
Yeah, I think once you get that kind of run and you put your nose in there and you know you're going to be passed, I think it's the smart thing to do to let him by.
3 wide. Oh, that's not good. Come on, guys, get it straightened out. Mike Abbott. No!
Caution's out.
Mike had such a run. He was going for it all. Mike had a heck of a run, and I think he was just trying to carry it there on the outside going into 1 and just got loose on him. Gets into John Furshing Jr., goes in the air. Hopefully he's all right after that. The wheel can get kind of violent when you experience a crash like that, so here's another take at it. Mike going into 1. John Furshing Jr. on the inside, gets into him, finds the rail. Whoa! What a ride. What a ride for Mike Abbott. Like to see that from John Furshing Jr.'s perspective. Oh, there we go. John Furshing Jr. P1. He knows Mike's to the outside. Mike's got just... Oh, there's just not enough track, guys. Oh. Good recovery by John, though. Nice recovery. Got a little damage there on the right front quarter panel, but nothing that can't be pounded out.
No, he'll be able to get it in there repaired.
Whoa. He wants that P1 back. And I believe Ricky Goodman is a lap down, is he not? I see Ricky out front here.
Ricky is, I believe, a lap down. Yep, or last car in the lead lap.
Ooh, I hear him coming out of the gas. Doesn't sound like he's got a button assigned to kill the car completely. That's what I always like to do. You know, when you have it idling, it's still burning gas. I like to I got a button assigned in my car and just flip that switch.
Yep, I got a nice toggle switch with one of those emergency things on it. So you got to put that thing up and then hit the button, and you shut it down. But he's definitely running at 1,000 RPM, so he's just putting the clutch in and dropping it down.
Car sounds good, engine sounds good. So, and then we'll see Dustin Phillips go by with the Spy Optics Chevrolet there. So just a reminder for those watching on Twitch, if you got a question, drop us a question in the chat room. We'll try to answer them. With Ricky saving gas like that, do you think he's planning to stay out?
Well, I don't know. We got 30 laps left.
Yeah, he's got to come in.
You got to come in anyway, so I don't know. Maybe he's just playing. Like I don't know. You got to come in. So there's no point in saving gas unless you're looking to have a quick stop on pit road, which is possible. Maybe he wants to come and get no tires and just save as much gas now so they can put less in it when he comes in, and then that's going to give him a quicker stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike, I know you got your ear to the radio every now and then. What's the chatter out there like?
I haven't heard anything since that first or two wrecks ago. The guys were, having some communication, so to speak, and things have calmed down a bit now. I don't hear anybody talking. So,
you think Mike wants to talk to us after that incident?
I'll go jump down and see if he wants to come in real quick.
Yeah, either him or Dustin. Dustin had a pretty good view of it too. So we're just waiting to see if Mike can get Mike Abbott down into the broadcast booth with us. Not sure if he's up for talking right now. It's always close. You always take that risk going into those corners like that. We haven't seen it pay off for a lot of drivers. So it looks like my colleague Mike Fair is still up there trying to convince one of them to come down into the booth. But if we can't get with somebody, that's all right. We'll just keep on keeping on with the broadcast here. So several cars though with damage. Looking at the I believe it's 927 of Dan Haney. Looks like he's got some damage on the back end of that Camaro, but must be not bad enough for him to come in and either use a quick repair or repair it. Sometimes even when you come in and repair it, it doesn't repair it back to 100%, and maybe that's a result of that. And if he's playing it smart, he's probably saving, if he's got a quick repair left, he's probably saving that one for later on in the race. So as we're getting down here in laps, lap 28. Looks like when we get ready to go green, we'll have John Fershing Jr. and I believe Dan Haney and Timothy Lewis all in the top 3. Kevin O'Brien is 4th here, but looks like he's coming in for fuel. I'm not sure what's up with that strategy, but maybe wants to come in, get some repairs, top it off, and kind of be in a different pit cycle than the rest of these guys. So
no, nobody's going to come up and talk to us. They have declined.
All right, well, completely understandable. You know, it's racing, and they got a lot of stuff going on right now, and definitely can break their concentration as a result. But you know, this track, just like a short track, can bring out you know, a more aggressive side on the driver. So completely understand. So I was just saying, Mike, you know, we got John Fershing Jr., we got Dan Haney and Tim Lewis running 1, 2, 3 with David Howard in 4th. And last time David Howard was able to have a heck of a start there and get out in front of Tim Lewis. I don't know if Tim didn't have the start he was looking for, or he just wanted to get in line, but it'll be interesting to see these guys get ready to go green here as we go into 3 and out of 4.
Before these guys go to green, I've got a request to drop down. I'll be right back.
So one of the questions that we got is, you know, is this, do we race every Wednesday? And the answer is yes, we do. It's a Wednesday thing. We've looked at different nights. It seemed to be the night that worked for most drivers. Every season we change it up a little bit, you know, just like the real NASCAR. We've had different rules implemented and such, and so we take it as a learning going into that next season. And so, you know, if a new night works for the majority of the drivers, then we'll definitely look at that. But it's right now for this season, for the remainder of the season, it's every Wednesday night for the Pro Series. And we're getting ready to go back to green here, and we're with Dan Haney. Dan Haney gets a real good start. Oh no, and Tim Lewis is in trouble, and no caution that I can tell.
Oh, yep. There's no caution.
David Howard Jr., and they're still wrecking back there, and finally the caution comes out as a result.
I don't know what happened. Let's see if we can take a look.
It was Tim Lewis and somebody, and I don't know what happened. I just Tim Lewis was the only car that I seen.
Tim has already apologized. He says that his car broke loose in 3rd gear. I'm not sure I see it breaking loose, but yeah, that one's unfortunate.
And I think he had Dan Haney on the outside of him, didn't he? 2nd place car. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, Tim's a great racer, and he's not doing anything like that on purpose. I don't know what happened. Maybe he just gets, like we said, we get in here and it's hard to see what's going on, and
he hit that bump. That's what happened.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Heck of a ride there for Tim. So, Mike, we had a question while you were away there for a second. You know, one of the things, one of the questions that we had was, do we race every Wednesday night? And I kind of answered that by saying, yeah, we race every Wednesday night, but we do, we take it season by season, and we implement new rules as a result of the learnings that we had previously. And if it would happen to work better for a different night for the majority of the drivers, we'd obviously look at that. But your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Wednesday's just a convenient race or night. We don't really want to conflict with any actual NASCAR racing events because we all enjoy watching them. And, I think it works well. It gives everyone their weekends. Like, we do have an event that runs on Sunday, and we have a practice that runs on Tuesday. So we kind of move things around, but we're always open to different ideas. We just want to make the race the most convenient for everybody.
Yeah, we got some color commentary there in the chat room with jacking her down. I think he's he's itching a little bit to be out here in this race.
Yeah, I think he's just letting everybody know that he is much better than everybody else.
Well, John,
with his good old Southern charm too, y'all.
Yeah, so John Furshing Jr., being in P1 has played to his benefit here.
Yeah, it's definitely the safer place to be.
So how many cars we got on the lead lap here, Mike? I believe we have 8, if I'm not mistaken. Might have 9.
Are we talking about lead lap cars?
Yeah, lead lap cars as of right now, understanding that one of them will probably get their lap back, maybe.
Yeah, we're at 8.
So do we know who has the fastest lap time? I'm kind of showing, if I'm seeing this right, John Furshing Jr. having the fastest time here around the track at about 46.8. Is that the last lap, or is that the fastest lap of the race? Do you know?
I think you got it. I think that's the fast lap of the race. Let me pull up his driver info here. Yeah, 46.846. That's definitely the fastest lap of the race. He's quick, but he's been riding up front, so got guys pushing you.
Can we go in car with him real quick? Is he saving gas?
Seems like he's no, he's riding around second gear, well, fourth gear. He's got it low.
He must think that there's going to be another caution.
Yeah, I wonder where he get that idea.
So for the guys up front, we've got John Furshing Jr., Dan Haney, and Joshua Buckley. Josh Buckley, our points leader going into tonight. John Furshing Jr. actually second in points. John would really like this win. I mean, that would tie him with Josh Buckley for 2 wins apiece going into the next week's race, and then obviously looking into the chase a little bit further out. I guess another part of that too is Nate LaFleur, in third place. He lost 2 positions, and he's in third right now from a points perspective. And it's one of those things that we've already seen him with a major incident this evening. Not that a bunch of other drivers haven't, but he can't really afford to take a DNF. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think this is actually going to be a shake-up race for the standings, man. I think we're going to see tons of bonus or penalty points come up. So I couldn't even begin to guess what it's going to look like after this race.
Looks like Kelvin Allison's gonna take a hit here. You know, he's had a good race last week, up 8 positions, not here tonight, so this is gonna hurt him in the point standings a little bit, but he'll rebound back.
Yeah, you know, he's already said a couple times that. Are we getting a white flag here?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm showing a white flag on my screen.
Your screen is cray-cray.
It is cray-cray.
I got under yellow, 22 laps to go.
Yeah, but my iRacing, I've got a yellow flag up and a white flag up in iRacing. I don't know what's going on with that.
iRacing just doesn't know what to do with all these awesome drivers out on the track this evening.
Sorry, what was I saying? I was saying,
I don't know what you were saying.
I don't remember.
You were talking craziness.
Yeah, someone mentioned time running out. It shouldn't. The race schedule is 3.5 hours, so we shouldn't be coming to a timed race here. But yeah, you're right. That's usually what happens is we get the white flag on a timed race, but we still got 22 laps left, and tons of time left in the session. So iRacing could be messing us up. Quite possible.
So Ricky Goodman gets the wave around. He's going to get back on that lead lap. That's going to bring us to a total of 7 drivers. That's what I'm showing. 7 drivers on the lead lap. Got some reports of iRacing, the service being down, but
there you go.
and we're currently not live again on my screen here, Mike. There we go. Back to the green flag racing. John Frisching Jr. takes him into 1. Josh Buckley following close behind there in 2nd. And the drivers make it through the corner here. Single file. Really spread out the field. Tim Lewis there in 3rd. Finds himself the jump again on that inside line. Definitely not where he wants to be. He's going to have to bring that car up. And we got a driver going to the inside, going into 3.
All right, the white flag has disappeared off my screen, so it looks like we're good to go.
Well, the pack really spread out here. John Frisching Jr. takes him into 1. Josh Buckley following close behind. Josh looks like he's got a run there. Just taking a little bit higher line, comes down on the inside as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make that move. These guys are our teammates. I don't think he's going to try and pull a pass off here until we get later on. These guys just kind of want to run here.
Yeah, I would agree, but you know, being teammates, I don't think there's any team rules, and I know when we get closer down to the final laps here, I know Josh is not going to hold back trying to get around him.
Oh, no joke. Josh would wreck his mother for the win, man.
Wreck his mom?
Yeah, he would. For a win, buddy, he would.
Nate LaFleur definitely down on that low line going into 1. Awfully bumpy going in there. We got some lap traffic to deal with. Hopefully that car can get out of the way, but it's going to be an interesting timing here because you definitely don't want to find that slower car in the corner. And they make it through 4. Looked like Nate LaFleur was maybe having some type of netcode issue there. It's not really on the screen. Dan Haney really having a heck of a run. You know, Team Haney. We normally have 3 of these Haneys in here. We know we got Dan and Keith. I don't see James in here tonight.
Yeah, you know, they come and go, but one Haney's better than none. Actually, we got two Haney up here right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at him push, man. But
Now, it was While Racing, which consists of John Fershing Jr., Josh Buckley, and Nate LaFleur. Are they all running Fords? They're all running Fords, aren't they?
let me take a look.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Oh no,
Yep,
Dan
Ford.
Haney. Looked like he got into the wall.
Got it collected though.
Yeah, I think those guys may have had to come out of the gas just a little bit to let them back in. And they are catching that car in front of them. John Fershing Jr. probably doesn't want to have to deal with lap traffic right now. I'm not sure who that is in front of him. Oh, it's Kevin Cochran. Kevin Cochran in the 9. John Fershing around him carrying that speed. This is going to be interesting going into 1. Kevin's way on the outside. He's able to get behind the pack, get in the draft. So with only 16 laps to go, Mike, and you get down to the later part of the laps, if we're under green, where do you choose to make that pass if you're Josh Buckley?
You know, personally, I think I'd make it on the last corner going exiting 4. I don't want to give him because the way that these cars suck up, right? Like you can initiate a pass pretty much at whim. You can just kind of hit on the gas and you can get a run. So I don't want to give them an opportunity to pass me back. So it'd be in this situation right here, come up, get a run, and try and make the pass going onto the crossing the finish line.
So Nate LaFleur right in the mix, and I'm showing Nate actually being a lap down there in that blue Ford, latter part of the pack here. He obviously
Butch just made a crazy save there. I don't know if you noticed it, but
no. So our first Chevy in the field tonight is Dan Haney. He's got to deal with those 2 Fords in front of him right now. And right behind him, James Skeleton rounding out 4th. But, you know, our 5th and 6th place drivers, Kevin O'Brien and Ricky Goodman, they're having a heck of a run here in 5th and 6th. They'd like to see this go green for a while. Getting a little crazy up front. Dan Haney. Is he going to be able to hold that John Fershing Jr. off? Josh Buckley behind Haney pushing him. Going too wide into 4, or excuse me, into 3. He pulls off the pass. Dan Haney Chevrolet gets out in front of those 2 Fords.
see if he can lead a lap. This will be his first one of the race here.
Nice run by Dan Haney. Josh Buckley was thinking about following him, knew he couldn't do it. Settles back into 3rd, and he's lining up John Fershing Jr. to take over the 2nd spot. Oh, and they get into each other. Oh, that's
These leaders, man, just racing and.
Oh, that's devastating. Now Dan Haney's got to watch out for lap traffic too, or traffic still coming, winding down on speed. Seen Josh Buckley look like he got into the wall just a tad there. As we go into 1. John Fershing Jr. all over Dan Haney. Dan Haney gets into the wall, gets loose, and back up into John Fershing Jr. Oh, just too much speed going in.
He's running a defensive line, tried to jump back high to get the entry on the turn, and just bounced off the wall. That sucks.
Yeah, Dan was having a heck of a heck of a race there. Made one heck of a pass, too, to get that lead, coming from third to first. Well, that'll make things interesting with 12 laps to go. We'll probably find ourselves down in that lower range, that 5 to 7 range. We know the gloves are coming off.
Yeah, now I don't think these guys are going to get in line as quick. I think these guys are going to race a little bit harder. You know, we got 12 laps to go. We'll have to see what happens.
Ricky Goodman running in third. Looks like he's got a little bit more damage than he did previously, but you know, if you get a quick repair, do you use it?
At this point, yeah, I think you use it. All right, we got a request to see number 2 cockpit on the ret, so let's take a look.
On board with Josh Buckley in the 2. Yep, just gets into that fence a little bit.
Josh got into the wall coming out of 4. But this is where the magic happens. So I think Haney's going to jump up here. Oh, man. I don't know how he got through that one.
Yeah, that was pretty close. Good driving there on Josh's part, just to hold his line, drive through it. Kind of reminds you a little Days of Thunder. Had a special set of spec tires on there.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's hit everything but the pace car tonight. I'm playing Josh. I know he's going to watch this later and get mad at me.
Well, maybe if we go back live, we can see if he comes back in for pit stop. Looks like he's still out there, so.
Are you live? Tell me you're live.
Yep, I'm live.
All right, cool. Don't know what's going on right here.
So I'm showing Kevin O'Brien in first place. Is that who you're seeing?
Yes, sir. Where's he been all race?
You know, he had you know, that problem earlier where he found himself in the fence outside of 4. Got it fixed, got towed, I believe, even, and finds himself, what, 65, 64 laps later, in first place. Now that's saying something.
Yes, sir.
Coming into the pits, got Andrew Packer in the 967 in front of him. He does have some damage. Let's see if he uses that quick repair if he's got one. Or if he just even stays in longer to fix some damage. It looks like he's going to give up the lead as a result, so. You know, if I'm him, I'm going to take 4.
I agree.
So I'm seeing Dustin Phillips being our last car on the lead lap here in that 5 Spy Optic Chevrolet, right where he wanted to be in these later part of the laps. Could be a good run here for Phillips as we're getting ready to go here. We're still under caution. Lights are still on the car, obviously.
I think we're at a record time. I think this is the longest race we've run here.
Yes, yes, I would agree. Was gonna kind of hope there for a better run for Andrew Packer. I see him a few laps down as a result of the incidents that he's been in. So, you know, my death curse of picking drivers and having them have bad nights continues. So, one of these nights.
It's funny. Mike is one place better than Edge. We both picked two drivers, finished at 11 and 12th, or in 11 and 12th, 2 laps down, 3 laps down.
Yeah, we know how superstitious these drivers are. In fact, they don't like being chosen as the driver to win the race up front. They think it jinxes them, and we've had multiple requests not to be chosen, but, you know, we play no favors here in the booth, and we call it as we see it. So we went with our drivers tonight, and then, you know, unfortunately, as a result, they didn't have a great night. I don't know if it has anything to do with us, but it is what it is. And we got, what, 9 laps to go here? And hopefully we'll see the lights out on the pace car here pretty soon.
I find it pretty interesting, though. Look at that. Jeremy Patterson, he's 1 lap down. He was 3 laps down at one point, wasn't he not?
Yeah, I believe he was. And the car looks awfully sharp as he gets the wave around as the lights are off.
Look at that. He gets the wave around. So that... And no, that's still going to be one lap down.
But honestly, Mike, it actually might play out to his favor. If they have a quick caution here, he might find himself at the very front of the pack.
Yeah, he could get his next lap back real easy. So we'll see. I don't know what we're going to see here, but I don't think it's going to be what we've been seeing most of the race, where these guys just get right in line.
So if you won't call it, I will. They're going to get crazy. There's going to be no give. There's going to be no take. Or it's going to be all take. That's the way it is. You know, these drivers heard from their spotter 10 to go, and they know that, you know, when we get ready here, it's going to be 8. So it's go time. And honestly, it's going to be interesting because Ricky is a pretty safe, moderate driver. I'm interested to see how aggressive he's going to get here with Buckley going into 1, as well as Dan Haney, who is right behind him. We've seen Dan Haney go from 3rd to 1st on this last round, so it's anybody's.
Yeah, I'm hearing these front row guys communicate on the radio. They're kind of getting it all set up here, and sounds like they're going to try and give each other room, but it's easy to say, hey, I'm going to give you room if you give me room, and then when it comes to make a pass.
That just means you're going to go when they're not. They've supposedly convinced the other guy that they're going to hold back and give him room, and they're both going to go for it. So here we go. Green flag. Ricky with a good start. Josh on the inside. Ricky to the lead. Dale Albright thought about it. Thought about going high on Buckley, but he didn't. Ricky Goodman leads him out of 2. Buckley's just got to be sitting back there in the draft looking for the opportunity to get around him.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to let him lead these laps. I think Josh is going to jump down and try and make a pass real quick here.
Yeah, I think he is, but he might get him on the front stretch. I don't see him doing it in the corner here. And to the underneath? No, he stays tucked in. Nice lap there by Ricky Goodman, and Ricky Goodman was fast in practice. There's no doubt about it that he knows how to wheel the car. Everybody's pretty much single file. Some guys getting some air coming out of 2.
We had a lot of cars mentioned. Oh, here looks like he's going to look here.
I still don't think he's got anything for him. Ricky is fast. I guarantee you. He's faster than what you think he is. I was really impressed with him in practice. And I don't know. Well, I don't know what Andy Packer's doing there, but that got a little crazy.
They just got in the way. He's just moving the arrows. It's all good.
I'm rooting for Ricky here.
Yeah, I'd love to see him cross the finish line at first, man. This could be a great finish for him.
Josh
Gotta
looks
keep it
high,
together, though.
looks low, in line. Boy, some of these drivers still can't. They won't leave that that bump out of 2 alone. And these guys are they're gaining speed. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good.
No smoke. They got it in line. Good job. Josh is all over the back of the 4.
Oh yeah, he's there. He's there. Anymore, he'd be pushing them down the track, and we got some slow cars coming out of the pit. They need to come up to speed. And we see Jeremy Patterson going to the low part of the track, giving those guys room. Real courteous move there by Patterson. As Buckley looks to the outside.
Yeah, he's looking in, he's looking out.
Somebody's low. That's Mike Abbott taking the position away. Look like he took it away from Butch Frazier, I believe.
Someone. Don't think it was Butch. That's
it's John Pershing Jr.
Yes, correct.
We still got guys coming out of pit road. They've got to stay low. And they do.
4 laps to go.
Ricky is having the drive of his life right now. Oh no! And
yellow
caution's
flag.
out. Is that the win for Ricky?
That could be the win for Ricky.
Oh, this could be huge. And I don't care who you ask. A win is a win, and it doesn't matter if it comes under yellow or not. But yeah, we'll have to see here a second.
Hey, well, I think you're right. I think you point out that you can't leave it to the end, and this is why you can't leave it right to the end. Ricky, he's a smart racer. He got out there. He knows that the cautions could come out, and when you're this close to a finish, caution means a win. So right now, he's just got to take it easy and get around. And let's hope he doesn't run out of gas.
Oh, that would be terrible. I don't think he would. He pitted, I believe.
He's been in and out. He's only pit 6 times though, so I think he's good. Let's jump on board and see what he does here. Or do we want to pull him in?
No, let's give him a minute.
Yeah, I'd hate to be the reason he's out. And,
yeah, exactly. No green white checker. I've seen one of the people ask the question. No green white checker in iRacing. They haven't built that in there yet. Hope to see it soon, but.
Yeah, send an email. Everybody who's watching, if you want to see green white checkers, man, send iRacing email. Tell them to get on that. He doesn't look like he's conserving. I think he thinks he's good to go here.
Yeah, and the car looks good. I thought I could have swore he had some damage before, so maybe it'll be interesting if he happens to come out to be the winner, and we get a chance to interview him. We might just even interview him regardless, whether or not he used a quick repair, because that car looks mint, at least from the view here. The worst scenario here is that we go green with 1 lap to go. It's going to be pure chaos if that's the case.
I think we're coming to. We'll see here. We got 3 to go.
Well, I guess we'll know if we see a car going around, and we do, with Mike Abbott being waved around the field.
Yep, so that means the race is over.
Yeah, because when they come back to the start-finish, they'll be on the final lap, and it will be the last lap. Correct?
They will be one to go. Yeah, correct. So they're finishing up they'll be coming to one to go, and then they'll be coming to the white flag this time.
Heck of a race for Ricky Goodman. Heck of a race. And I'm showing he's actually led 13 laps this evening.
Yeah, he was up there earlier in the race. You know, believe it or not, he led second most out of anybody on the track. John Furshing led the most, so it wasn't like it was luck, man. He knew what he was doing here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I see him. He's had 6 pit stops. It's not bad considering we've seen people in that 10, 14, 15 range in pit stops, and he did it right tonight. Very impressive job. Excited for Ricky. I bet he's gonna burn him down.
Or fly him, one of the two.
So true. You know, I wonder now, if Josh had to do it all over again, would he have done something different?
Yeah, if you could have told him that there was a caution coming out with 4 to go, I'm pretty sure he'd push a little bit harder.
You know, but there aren't that many places to pass on this track, and you know, Josh is probably, you know, we don't know Josh's thoughts until we interview him, but you know, he might have wanted to just get out of here with a top 5 finish, being the points leader. He didn't need. He's already got 2 wins, and not that he wouldn't take another one. I'm just curious if he was content riding in second there and letting things play out. And then really going for it on the last lap.
Josh isn't the type of guy that I think would be happy with a second place finish. He wants to win, man. He's the type of guy that likes to get around everybody, and you know, he thinks he's capable of it. So he really pushes the envelope, and that's good. I like to see that from a racer, for sure.
Well, we had talked about it earlier, of who was on that bubble. And Ricky Goodman was going into the race 10th in points. Jeremy Patterson is going to probably finish... Where's Jeremy going to finish here?
10th, looks like.
Around 10th, so...
Unless John and Kevin are no longer on the track, but I'm pretty sure they still are.
And then you got to factor in the incident points, laps led. This is going to be interesting to see where Ricky Goodman ends up. He might find himself almost in that chase. Now, ours is a little bit different, isn't it, Mike? It's not a win and you're in, is it?
This season is not a win and you're in, but we figured out how to do it for next season. So this season is like the old school chase, just topping points. Next season we will change to a win and you're in format.
You think we'll hear any petition out of the Ford to make that change a little bit earlier?
Well, NASCAR's got a bunch of rule changes mid-season this year, so.
Well, there you have it, folks. Your race winner tonight, Ricky Goodman in that 4 Chevrolet Camaro. Congratulations to Ricky on that win.
Yeah, good to see it. He deserves it. He's been racing with us since the beginning, and I like to see him kind of get up there. He's definitely a speed specialist. He's good at those high-speed rings, so you know he'll probably be looking to put this track back on next season's schedule, but I'm not sure we're gonna see that.
Well, there we have top 3: Ricky Goodman, Josh Buckley, and Dale Albright. One heck of a run for Dale Albright. We haven't talked about him a lot tonight, but man, what a great finish for Dale.
Who should we start with? Do you want to start with the winner, or you want to let him burn him down first? We'll start with Dale.
Oh, let's start with Dale if he's available.
Let me just go grab him.
As long as we don't, as long as we get to see Ricky here burn him down.
Dale, 3rd place, man. It was a pretty crazy race. You got to be happy with a 3rd place finish.
I'm thrilled to come out of here with a 3rd place finish after all the crap that went on tonight, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was you know, we all knew coming in this race it wasn't going to be our, you know, the most clean or I don't know how to describe it, but I would like to see a little bit more room given. I know everybody was kind of on both ends of the stick there, and good to see you kind of represent Hooligans with a third place finish.
Yeah, Hooligans had a good plan going in. We tried to qualify up front, and then we were going to run up front, but that got ditched early, and there was a lot of take and not a lot of give there, and that's why we had all these cautions.
Well, still a strong finish for you tonight. You know, you came in tonight 16th in points. Top 3 finish is gonna do you real well going into next week's race.
Yeah, definitely a good points night. Unfortunately, next week I will be out of town and can't make the race, so that's going to hurt me a little bit. But I'll be back in Indianapolis with my Hooligan teammates, and we'll go for a win there.
Have you used the drop race this year or this season yet?
No, not yet. This next week will be my drop race.
So, you know, you'll still be in good shape coming back for the Brickyard.
Yeah, it won't be too bad.
Well, anybody want to give a quick shout out to, Dale?
Yeah, my Hooligan teammates, Relic Killer Graphics for sponsoring us and making the cool graphics on the cars, and say hey to my mom.
Got to always
awesome,
include
Dale.
Mom.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming in, man, and again, thanks for you know, being respectful out there and keeping. I know you could have said a lot more tonight over the radio than what you're saying tonight, so I really appreciate that, and we're looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
No problem, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's grab second place Josh Buckley, and we'll talk to him about his race.
Well, look at
Josh, second place. You're up in the radio in the booth. Man, crazy race all around. I know a lot of people are not happy with that one, and but hey, you got to be happy with at least a second place finish out of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was very short wired the entire race. You know, to come out second, I was thinking points the entire time. That's why I was trying to stay back. So I got to be thankful for it. You know, I apologize to anyone that I may have yelled at or got a little angry, but you know, it was racing, and I was honestly taking points the entire time. Coming here to with the lead, could lose points with incidents. I was a little short. So,
tell me, 10 laps to go. You know that a caution's going to come out with 4 to go. You're going to race Ricky a little bit harder than you did.
I honestly, where that came, I was about time. I was starting to try to get the runs together. A lap before, I tried to get the run, and it just didn't happen because I was like, all right, you know, the way the race went, it was bound to happen. I was hoping for a green flag finish, but it didn't come that way. You know, congrats to Ricky. You know, I think it's his first win. I'm not 100%, but you know, congrats to him. But give it another lap, and I even told him I was going to be pushing pretty hard. So.
Yeah, we weren't expecting anything less than that, and we really wanted to come and see it finish under green, but unfortunately it was a yellow. But yeah, you were all over the back end. We seen you looking high, looking low, just looking at different angles. We were talking about, you know, there isn't a whole lot of places to pass on this track. If you were going to do it, do you know where you were going to try to make that pass?
It was on the exit of the corner, definitely. It was just getting that run and trying to make sure, you know, the arc I took through that last corner to get that run, which I thought I did the lap before. And it just, as soon as I got out from behind him, I hit like a wall and it stopped. And then, you know, I was worried about, I think it was the 26 behind me trying to pass me on the outside, so I made sure to check back up and get up there. But, I mean, good racing by him. You know, I think he knew what I was doing. It was just a matter of, no matter who's the leader, it's a matter of time before someone has that run, so.
Yeah, I was saying tonight and listening to the radio chat, guys were complaining that they felt like the people in front of them were just like dragging the brake and not running, but it's just a product of the way that these cars suck up. You know, you don't really realize that until you get in the pack, but you have to run this track at like 75% throttle to stay in line. And you know, we were saying that at any point you could really just floor it and put together a run and kind of figure out where you could slingshot. And you know, the last 20 or so laps you guys were running in line, and I thought that, hey, looks good that these guys are intentionally doing that. And you know, at any point you can kind of just floor it. I think you kind of just got burned on that last caution. I definitely think you guys could have been running for a win there, but you know, I'm sure Rick's happy with the outcome.
I'm sure he is too, and I congratulate him. The most. I'm not complaining about his second place. I'd love to get those extra points, but I mean, I can't win every race, as much as I'd love to. But I'm glad he was able to get it.
Well, good deal. Do you got anybody you want to give a quick shout out to while we still got you in the booth?
No, just thank you guys for making this nightmare come true. No, I'm kidding. But,
Right.
Thank you guys for putting this on. I know you guys put a lot of hard work into it, and I thank my team, at Well Racing at Nate and John for, working and trying to get this going. I'm glad of the second place finish. I just wish these guys could have finished either in front of me or behind me. So.
All right, man. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.
All right, we'll see you.
Later.
All right, Rick, man, congratulations. First win on here with NAVSCAR. Man, what do you think about that race? Ricky.
Just pure silence. He doesn't even know what to say.
It just was a crazy race, just nerve-wracking all around. Just tried to stay out of the way of all those wrecks and keep the car clean to the finish.
Yeah, that restart on the end there, I heard you talking to Josh and saying, hey, if I get a jump, if you get a jump, I'll give you room. If I get a jump, you give me room, we'll get in line. And you timed that start perfectly. You got a run on him on the outside and then dropped down and kept him behind you. And I think you played it right. I think he waited just a little bit too long to kind of make a move on you, and the cautions kind of fell your way.
Yeah, I was hoping I would finish under green, but made it a lot easier finishing under yellow. I just thought that whoever got the jump there going into turn one off the restart was going to end up winning, so I'm glad I was able to time it and get to the end.
So how much were you driving out of the rear view mirror?
I'd say about 75% there, making sure that he didn't get any runs coming out of turn four, and just trying to keep him behind me. It was just crazy all around.
Yeah, that's interesting because when we talked to Josh, we asked him if he was going to make the pass, where was he going to make it, and he did say coming out of the corner there, and so he was looking low, looking high, and on the backstretch and in the corners, and I think some of that was just him driving the car, but a lot of it was him trying to understand where he could overtake you. You had to be aware of that going and having Josh behind you like that.
Yeah, he's a great racer. He's won, I think, 2 races already this year, leading the chase. He's always going to be at the front and pushing hard, so I just was looking. If he got a great run on me, I don't think there would have been much I could have done, so I was just trying to do whatever I could to keep him behind and close.
Yeah, the Fords look strong tonight, but you were able to put that Chevrolet in victory lane, so congratulations on that.
Yeah, my Red Bull team has been doing a great job with the car. It seems like we're always near the front this season, and just have had some unfortunate events. Last week we were running top 3 in Daytona. I thought we had a car to take it that week, and just had some bad luck there, and I'm glad I was able to take it home this week.
Well, good deal. I know you were fast in practice too, and you had a heck of a setup going, and we went over to this one, and you were still able to capitalize on it, with the lessons learned in practice. So congratulations. Mike, you got anything for a race winner?
Just once again, man, congratulations, and it's good to see you up front.
Thanks a lot. Great feeling to get my first win under my belt. Hopefully keep it going and get into the chase.
Good deal. Anybody you want to give a shout out to real quick?
Just keep my teammates all together. Had some help out there throughout the way. Kevin and Andrew pushing me along, even though they were a couple laps down. But just a great race altogether. Good driving. Everybody I know is frustrating at some points, but tried to keep our cool.
All right. Well, good deal. Thanks for joining us in the booth tonight.
Thank you. I look forward to next week's race.
Take it easy. Well, I'm glad that one's over, to be honest, and looking forward to getting to a normal race next weekend, and hopefully these guys can calm down. I know that we're going to get a lot of hot tempers and a lot of upset drivers, but hopefully we can get things cooled down and everyone can forget about this one and move on to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got the schedule up real quick, and so as everybody can see, we're heading to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for Freaky Fast 125 Jimmy John's race there, and look forward to having the people join us in the chat room again, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks for joining us.